Hello everyone! Welcome to another episode of Plus Ones, a series where we take a single card, break down what it does, and explore what it can do. We've reached the end of this set's hero support, but thankfully we've left a doozy of a card for the finale. It's another reference card, but unlike the others, it's very competitive. And yet, it's hard to pin down because the card's going to be different for everyone. How's that possible? Simple. This grand addition to the lineup is your favorite hero. Favorite hero is an equip spell that attaches to any level 5 or higher hero monster. While you control a field spell, the attached monster increases their attack by their original defense, as well as keeping it from being targeted by card effects. And if you're short a field spell, hey, no worries. At the start of the battle phase, you get to just activate a field spell from your deck or hand. And they said terraforming was limited. Lastly, if the equipped monster destroys an opponent's monster by attacking it, you can send favorite hero to the grave to give the previously equipped monster a second attack in a row. So, quick reference guide. The pose Flame Wingman is doing here is taken from the first opening of GX, much like Generation Next did. The field spell requirement is almost certainly a nod to the hero-specific field spell Skyscraper, especially because of the attack boost. I'm not sure where the targeting protection comes from, but I'm not complaining. The additional attack ability is similarly out of place, but I would argue that it's there to accentuate Wingman's effect to deal big burn damage whenever it defeats a monster in battle. So this card is good on two axes, pumping the stats of a key hero, and giving you access to any field spell. And since you're probably already playing high level heroes in your hero deck, let's go over some of the better options and see how much better we can make them. If the addition of Liquid Man and Sunriser have prompted you to play more masked heroes, then attaching this card to Contrast Hero Chaos is a superb option. The quick effect negation tied to an untargetable monster with 5600 attack is outrageous, and even covers for the new card's biggest weakness. Nothing stops it from being taken out by card removal. But in this scenario, Chaos can halt those effects, creating a symbiotic relationship that forms a ridiculously strong boss monster. Destiny Hero Plasma won't get much of a buff to its attack, but the targeting protection can be a valuable tool to protect your investment. Summoning this bloody localization nightmare isn't easy, and while its skill drain ability is rather powerful, it's weak to any other removal that can bypass it. With favorite hero, it'll be that much more difficult to defeat, not only by resisting cards like Infinite Impermanence, but also by powering it up to 2500 attack. So now it's not totally horrible to summon turn 1. Evil Hero Malicious Bane is just as terrifying as it would have been if summoned by Magistry Alchemist, but equipping this card is much easier, and it gives him targeting protection to complement his immunity to destruction. This does mean that Bane is doing a bit of an Evil Eye cosplay here, but you don't have to pay nearly as many life points to get to its staggering 6000 attack. Vision Hero Trinity is a devastating choice. After its effect is resolved, favorite hero can make this Crimson Crusader a 7000 attack point monster with 3 chances to swing in for damage. If your opponent has a monster lineup that resists Malicious Bane's destruction effect, Trinity can take its place to end the game outright. Even if they have 2 3000 attack point monsters, they'll be lucky if you even need to make the 3rd attack. Masked Hero Darklight is an outstanding pick, and is probably the best option you'll have. With the equip spell, he's sporting 4200 attack and targeting protection. Not a lot's going to get past him, and even if it does, they'll have likely banished a lot of resources doing so. I mean, unless Regeki becomes popular again, but what are the odds of that? That covers some of the most useful candidates for equipping, but what about the field spells you can search? True, the hero field spells are an option, but I'm not going to waste an opportunity to see how far this generic field spell enabler can take us. Besides, you just got a huge attack boost. How would you even trigger Skyscraper? Mystic Mine, the bane of duelist sanity the world over, is a wild defensive option. If your opponent amasses a giant field to try and overrun you, armed with a way to beat over your boosted hero, you can just activate Mystic Mine at the start of the battle phase and derail their entire plan. You know what happens a lot in the battle phase? Cards getting sent from the field to the graveyard. What field spell benefits from this? Kyoto Waterfront. If you manage to smash enough monsters, you can start loading up on those delicious kaiju counters. This can be a pretty solid option if you ever feel like you need to run the massive monsters as removal. By doing this, you'll have an equip spell that searches the field spell, that searches your big Yoshis. Magical Meltdown can be a way to form a hero invoked deck. With the wide variety of attributes, you'll never want for access to any invoked fusion. And it even synergizes with your heroes, as it keeps all fusion effects from being negated or responded to. And in a pinch, you can use Invocation as a replacement polymerization. Now if only they'd let us have larger extra decks. A pleasant surprise I found during my research was that Neospace actually slots in pretty well here. Initially, I was hesitant to include any of the Neos fusions as good targets for favorite hero, because you just lose it when the fusion returned to the extra deck. However, because you can grab Neospace, they're much better long-term options now. With favorite hero and Neospace, Air Neos jumps up to 5,000 attack, and that's not accounting for the crazy attack boost you might get from its own effect. Brave Neos will be similarly strong, and accrue advantage over time as it keeps searching you Neos cards. Grand Neos can keep bouncing cards every turn to clear the way for more damage, and Storm Neos can bust all of your opponent's spells and traps every turn, all while holding down a 6,000 attack body. And that about wraps up all the highlights for favorite hero. If you have a field spell in mind that can bring out its full power, this equip spell can shore up the weaknesses of essential heroes while turning them into towering bruisers, rivaling the heights of the city of skyscrapers they've sworn to protect. Do you have a favorite hero you'd like to see wielding this awesome power? Let me know in the comments below, and subscribe for more coverage of the Magical Hero set. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.